Hi, I'm Diane Nelson. Welcome to Meet the Candidate of Harrison Township 2020. This project is a joint effort between myself as the Senior Center Coordinator and Melissa Goins, the Library Director for Harrison Township. The program is designed to bring information to the voters of Harrison Township about the people who currently serve the township and others from our community who want to. The library nor the Senior Center endorses any candidates. The only goal of this project is to provide voters with information.
We're talking to Lisa Sinclair, candidate for a township clerk. Tell us about yourself, Lisa.
Hello, Melissa. My name is Lisa Sinclair. Lisa Sinclair, like Lake St. Clair. And thank you for having this Meet the Candidate Forum. I really appreciate it, especially during the pandemic and making accommodations for me and the other candidate. So I really appreciate that. I'm here in front of the Harrison Township Library outside. Makes things great. I absolutely love the outdoors, and I've been a resident here in Harrison Township for 3 years. I bought my home in March of 2017, and I'm so glad to be here. Just to tell you a little bit about me, I'm currently a registered nurse. I serve as a registered nurse in Mount Clemens. And I've been a nurse since 2016. And just to go backwards a little bit, I grew up in Port Huron. And after high school, I went to Michigan State University. I'm a Spartan and proud graduate from MSU. I studied political science. And in 1997, I started working at our state capitol. And I actually worked for both the House of Representatives and the Senate as a legislative staff person or legislative aide. And I truly enjoyed that and learning to work with the residents of Michigan and the district that I worked in. I worked all over, but mostly in Macomb County. I did work in the Upper Peninsula, and I was assigned to several districts throughout my career there. I ended it in 2008. I was interested in going into the medical field and becoming what I would call a nurse advocate eventually, but I took a job as a practice manager. I managed an entire specialty clinic called Lansing Rheumatology. I worked there from the time I left the Senate until 2011. And then it was time for me to move back home because I was interested in going to nursing school at that time. I graduated from Macomb Community College as a registered nurse, and I've been practicing as a nurse ever since. I have some emergency experience as a registered nurse, and I am now a psychiatric nurse, which I absolutely love. So I've always been very passionate about responsible government, and I actually have always wanted to be a clerk. And just to share a little bit about my passion for that, I ran for the Lansing City Clerk in 2001, and unfortunately I lost that general election by just one single vote. So I've been determined to get involved, and once I moved back here and I was in nursing school, there was actually the Macomb County Clerk was running in 2016, and I followed that race because the seat was open. And unfortunately though, in 2018, that person that was elected was removed from office, but I was watching the whole time, and I stood up, and I stood up. It was a very difficult position for a person running countywide, but I stood up and I ran for that position. And I am so proud that back in 2018, I ran for that position. I received 48.6% of the vote from Macomb County residents. And that led me to where I'm at today, because during my campaign, I campaigned very heavily in my own community, Harrison Township. And I met so many residents during that time, and I actually learned what's really important to them. And I'll actually go into that further, but I just wanted to answer your question about just a little bit about me. So here I am today, and I'm happy to take your next question.
Very good. What originally prompted you to run for township clerk?
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that? I didn't hear the second word.
What originally prompted you to run for township clerk? You said you had always wanted to be a clerk. So if you would tell us a little bit about that passion.
Well, okay, so I was running for the Macomb County Clerk, which is all of the whole Macomb County, which is 870,000 residents. That's a whole lot of people. And it was very difficult to reach out to all those people, but I worked very hard. And like I said, I focused in my own community in Harrison Township because I was a new resident at the time. I'd only lived here for a year, but the things that I learned while I was out there, and let me just tell you about one thing about myself that I want you, all the Harrison Township residents, to know. I have a very strong heart and work ethic to help others. And as I was out on my campaign in 2018, I met so many residents that that believed like me. They're passionate about responsible government like me. And the thing that I heard constantly as I was going door to door is, I think you should run for the township clerk. This is too big for you. You know, you're taking a step too big. And myself, I always listen to people, and maybe they're possibly right, but I'm confident that I would have got the job done. But the thing that I'm getting at is I constantly heard, I'm tired of the good old boys system. And I heard that once, twice, 3 times, and then it seemed like every door that I would go to introduce myself, I would constantly hear, I'm tired of the good old boy system. So now that I'm here and I've lived here 3 years, I hear that quite often and I understand the lingo. But when the election came up this year, it's not really a popular thing to do, to run against somebody who is currently there. But like I said, back to responsible government. I'm passionate about it. I know that I can do better. And there's a couple issues. I'll see I don't know what questions you're going to ask me, but there's 2 issues right now currently that I think every resident, we should talk about right here. And I'll be glad to go into those, but I want everyone to know that's the reason why I'm running. So thank you.
And that does lead us directly to my next question. What do you see as general concerns for the township, and how do you plan to address them?
Okay, well, like anything in my life, I am so passionate about customer service. All right, with absolutely any job, and I've done a few jobs in my life, and customer service is the #1 absolute most important thing. And I always promise everyone it's service with a smile with me. When you have to do something with me, service with a smile. And I'm running for this position because the #1 priority for me, and something that I will change immediately day 1 in office when I'm elected as the next township clerk, the top priority is excellent customer service. And when I say that, there's a lot of things I mean by that. I hear objections all the time. Well, improvements cost money. No, it doesn't cost money at all. Customer service, happiness, loving our community, loving Harrison Township, that's all free. And it comes from me. And I want to be there. I'm a registered nurse. I have a job. I don't need the job. I just want to absolutely be there. And anyone knows that if you deal with somebody who wants to do the job, it's such a better experience. And I'm just saying, I really want the job. So my #1 plan when I get into office and start on day 1 is to connect with all the residents. And the way that I see that is I'm going to use technology. And we deserve better right now. The thing that I plan to do is create an online message board. It will be user-friendly, and it will be civil, and I will be the administrator of it. And my plan is to update the residents every day, updates right as they happen. There's no waiting. It's technology, and it's a beautiful thing. So I want to share with you about 2 things that are concerning to me. And part of the reason why I'm running for this position is #1. Okay, unfortunately, we had this pandemic, and I've worked through it. I'm a registered nurse. It's really scary for a lot of people. A lot of us have so many questions that we don't know the answers to. But the thing is, as the person who serves as the secretary to the township board and as the elections officer for our community, I think that we should be transparent and we should be updating people. So my idea is to update people about everything, and a lot of people had no idea what's going on with our water bill. Why haven't I got our water bill? So that's the issue everyone can understand right now because it just happened. Pandemic started March 10th, 2020, and myself as a resident, I received an update in the mail dated June 8th. that told me what was happening with our water bill. I'm not saying the clerk can do anything better with the water bill itself, but it's all about communication. We have to communicate. We deserve better. We need to know. We shouldn't have to wait 3 months to know what's going on with the water bill. And I would be happy to update that right as I know it. I want constant updates to the residents. They should be on board, and I would be connecting with them because I'd be happy to do it. Number 2 issue, as I stated, the clerk has the major responsibilities for the clerk is the secretary of our township board, and it's the chief elections officer. Okay, to me, that says that anything that's on the ballot in our community in Harrison Township should be known about. Okay, so right now, a very important issue that we're going to be voting on August 4th, besides the candidates, is our Harrison Township Library millage proposal. That's a very important issue. I just learned about this in the end of June. Thankfully, there was an open house, and it's so important, especially for someone like me who supports library, learning, education. It's a wonderful place. So I've been questioning it ever since because I'm not really understanding why it hasn't been promoted. So as the next clerk, something like this that would be on the ballot, I see it as my job, and I would reach out in a non-biased way, and I would just like I do anything, I would tell all the residents the good things about if you support the millage, what are the benefits? If you don't support the millage, why wouldn't you? I want to tell the reasons why you wouldn't support it. So that's a very important issue. I think it's important to give non-biased education, and again, I'm very passionate about that. So there's also other things about elections, like no reason absentee voting and educating the residents about elections. That all drives up voter participation. And as the clerk, I think it's the responsibility to encourage the highest turnout in every election that we have. So that's my answer to that question.
Okay, great. What are your involvements in community affairs?
What are my involvements in what?
Community affairs.
Specifically as far as?
How else are you involved in the community?
I'm involved in the community as far as I'm constantly, like I said in the beginning, have a strong heart and work ethic to help everyone. Me personally, ever since I moved to this community, the thing that I think is the most rewarding to me is being involved. I talked about technology, and let me just tell you that the Harrison Township groups on Facebook, there's three of them that are quite sizable. They have several thousand residents, and I participate in those actively, and it's been actually life-changing for me on how the rewards that I've participated with them online. And the way of the world now is the internet, because we're able to touch so many people and be encouraging to people, educate people. Someone asks a general question that they might not know about. There's a lot of people out there that do have knowledge about it, and they're able to answer that question. There's people who struggle with things, and I see giving, I see caring, I see loving. And, everything has the negatives too. And there's a lot of people who are mean and hateful, but unfortunately that's just part of the internet. And, but I'm involved with those three groups regularly and in person. I'm always connecting with people. So the biggest thing is I like to listen to people, and I like to connect with my neighbors, learn from them, especially the people who I've met that have been here like 50 years or greater. And I hear about all the stories. So just connecting with neighbors and my ability to educate. I've had a lot of people reach out to me during these questionable times because I'm a nurse, and I wish I could help more, because even as a nurse, I don't have any answers about COVID-19, but I'm always there to be supportive of my neighbors, and just someone to listen, because a lot of people in this world don't realize that listening, and that goes back to the part of being the clerk, is I want to listen to all my neighbors. So that's how I'm involved with the community. And plus I want to be a leader, and I want to be like an open door policy. I want everyone in this community to know that they can contact me on my cell phone anytime. They can reach out to me on my social media, and I'm here to listen. So that's my answer about how I'm connected with the community.
Okay, thank you. That's all for my questions, Lisa. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, well, yes, I'd just like to tell you briefly again, my name is Lisa Sinclair. My name is Lisa Sinclair. It's like Lake St. Clair, the lake that I love and the community that I love. And I just want to remind everybody that the election is on Tuesday, August the 4th, and I'm running as a Republican candidate. And just want to tell everybody about that. Although I'm running as a Republican, but it's always people over party. I'm not running to support a platform for a party. This position is it's very important for me to listen to everybody, and everybody's voice matters. So I encourage you to vote on August 4th, and just so you know, the polls open at 7, they close at 8. And if you have any questions for me, I encourage you to call me. My number is 586-569-9211. I have an open door policy, and you can reach me on social media. And please reach out to me. I'm able and I'm happy to answer all the tough questions. And thank you for watching today. And I hope to meet you in the next 3 weeks.
Thank you so much for telling us about yourself, Lisa, and for offering to serve in our community.
Okay, well, thank you. I really appreciate you making the accommodations for this. This is great. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
I'm Melissa Goins. Thank you for tuning in to Meet the Candidates of Harrison Township 2020. Don't forget to vote at the polls on August 4th and November 3rd, or with an absentee ballot. All voting information for Harrison Township can be found at htvotes.com. That's HT for Harrison Township, votes.com.